Hi, we're going to create a mountain landscape today, and we're going to do that in the style of an artist called Aranyi. She's currently a working artist. She does illustrations, which are drawings, and she also does graphic art, which she creates using different programs on the computer. So we are going to be creating something in her similar style, and you'll be able to make it your own through your color choices today, and then how you decide to frame your piece. Maybe you want to use a quote like I did here, a quote about winter. Aranyi has done dots around hers. She's also done this before where she has part of her drawing going out of her frame, and then she puts dots around that as well to kind of make it all one piece. All right, so we are going to start by tracing a circle, and then we're going to use a black marker. And the last thing you'll do is you will add color to your sky with whatever materials you have at home. Both of these were created with crayon. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Have your paper ready, and then you may work with a pencil. I'm going to move right to my marker just for time's sake and so that you can see my drawing better. Okay, so put your circle, whatever you are tracing. I'm tracing this color wheel because it's big and it fills up my paper. So go ahead and trace your circle. And then when you are done with that, we're going to start with our mountains. So we're going to start right about here at the middle point, and we're just going to draw almost a zigzag line, but I'm going to make mine a little jagged, and I don't want all of the points or my mountain peaks to be the same size. So I'm going to draw some shorter and some taller, but I'm making my zigzag line a little bit jagged. And then we're going to add our shadows. So we're going to have it so it looks like a shadow is on the left side of the mountain. And we're going to do that on every single mountain peak. So it's going to look like your light source, the moon or the sun, is shining on it from the right. So to create our shadows, we have to make a darker area. So we're going to come down from that peak with a line, and you can make it a little jagged if you want, or wiggly. And then wherever your mountain peak started, you're going to come over from there and make almost this triangular shape. And you're going to do that on every peak. So I'm going to draw that line down, and then I'm going to connect over. So again, draw that jagged line down and then connect from wherever that peak started over. And this one I can do shorter because my peak is smaller. I just want to make it a little bit longer than where my mountain started. And I can't really see where this one ends, so I'll just make that up. And then you can add a few organic shapes, like those freeform shapes. Put those in random places on the front of the mountain, so it just looks like a little bit of texture, and maybe a place where the snow melted and your rock is showing through. And then we want to make this look a little bit darker, so we're just using lines because we have a marker for this part. Okay, so after you draw it, you can switch to your marker and you can just kind of fill those in with some lines to give it a darker value. Okay, and don't forget to do those little organic shapes that you just added. Okay, and I'm just kind of filling it in. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just do your best. And then after this, we're going to create those trees down at the bottom. So we want to make it look like they're in silhouette. So they're going to look mostly black, okay, because the light is shining from behind them. So to get those trees drawn, we're going to start by drawing a line for each tree. And let's make them different heights. So maybe you have a short one and a taller one. Okay, as many as you want to create. And then I'm just going to use my pencil here. I'm going to draw a guideline. So I'm turning these into long skinny triangle shapes to get the shape of that tree. And they can overlap each other. That's fine. I could add more in the middle in between these if I wanted to. And the next step is to fill these in. So I basically want to create the texture of the pine tree or the evergreen tree. So I'm just kind of filling them in with these diagonal lines. And I'm going to go over that again and kind of build that up until I can't see very much of the white showing through there. So I don't really mind if I get some really dark spots. Those just look like darker areas, denser areas in the tree where more pine needles or branches are growing. And now I'm diagonaling the other direction to do the other side of the tree. Okay, and I don't really worry about staying exactly inside of that guideline. I can go out of it a little bit. I like those little points that kind of come out. It makes it look more realistic. And then repeat that same process on each tree that you drew. And then when you are done repeating the process, then you can start to think about the sky. Okay, what type of sky would you like to create in your piece? This will give it a feeling. So here's a few options. Do you want it to be a sunset? Do you want it to look like daytime, a galaxy at night, or a winter scene? So if you want it to look like a sunset, you would use the warm colors, red, yellow, orange. And I also add pink sometimes. During the day, if it's a sunny day, the sky's nice and blue. This time of year where we live, it's pretty gray. The night sky, you would use a mix of blues, purples, black. That's what I did here. Cool colors, blue, green, and purple for more of a winter sky. So you decide, and you could put them in little patches of color like I did here. You could do the colors going across in stripes like I did here. So lots of options. And then if you want to add the frame, you can. If you want to add the quote, if you want to add a moon in your sky, it doesn't have to go out of the circle if you don't want it to. It could fit right in there. You could add little stars, some shooting stars, little snowflakes. Okay. When you're finished, take a picture of your artwork and then submit that so that I can see what you created. I can't wait to see your art.